I feel very lucky to talk to both of you. I've been such a fan of both of your work for, I want to say almost a decade now. I used to illegally watch My Mad Fat Diary.
Amazing.
My best friend is Scouse, so she would let me know the
Who
spoilers.
Is?
My best friend is Scouse, so
No
she would let me know the
way.
spoilers.
I love that.
What's a Scouser?
From Liverpool.
Oh, that's from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Why is it called Scouser?
Just Scouse.
Scouse? Is Scouse a town in Liverpool?
It's just what we're called. Scousers.
Liverpoolian is too, it's too
Liverpoolian.
mad.
Liverpoolian is too much to
Liverpoolian.
I'm
wrap
poetic
it
enough.
up.
That's when I saw him for the first time. It took my breath away.
I'm Benny. Yeah, every character's different. This one was more about contextualizing this time period. So it was a lot of music of the late 50s into the 60s and the 70s to kind of get the atmosphere of that time.
For Kathy and Benny. There was one in particular called In Spite of Ourselves. They kind of list all the reasons why they kind of dislike one another or should have reason not to, and in spite of it all, you know, they'll be together forever. If they had a theme tune or like, you know, a song of their lives, I was like, oh God, this feels like Benny and Kathy. Someone who I'm really enjoying at the minute is an artist called Cleo Sol. But yeah, I mean, I think anyone who is kind of articulating and expressing their vulnerability in a way, you know, that enables people to relate to it and see themselves in it, I think is just so cool. It's amazing.
You know, the first person that came to my mind was Frank Ocean. The quality of every album and every song, it's so inventive, and it's quality over quantity. And I could go on and on. There's so many different artists, but that was the first person that came to my mind.
One of my favorite songs ever is White Ferrari.
Oh,
So I feel like we just need to do a Spotify blend. I'll share some of my recommendations.
Yeah, I just learned about that Spotify blend the other day.
Really?
It's really cool to do that.
Blend?
Yeah, you basically connect your two accounts for a playlist. So it'll say these are the songs that kind of either both of you love, or these are songs we think that you'll like based
I
on
didn't
both of
know
your
that.
musical tastes.
It's fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We can blend too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The Wild One, Easy Rider, The Loveless. I used to dance around the living room with my sister to Grease. She had it on a little cassette tape.
Amazing.
I love that so much. Shoo-rap-doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
You know what I think it encapsulates for me is like this inability to put a name on something. It's like, how can this be love when there's so much friction and misunderstanding and violence at times, but still having this kind of pull towards someone? It's like, what is this thing? I felt like there was a lot about their relationship that I couldn't explain, to be honest. And I think sometimes that is true of life, you know? I think oftentimes when we do these interviews, we're expected to have a kind of reasoning or an answer for everything. And I feel quite comfortable in the fact that like, I feel like I didn't have them all for those two. And I think as well, partly a lot of that is because we only ever had Kathy's point of view, who was a reliable narrator.
Well, so what are we doing here? Just shooting the breeze?
Yeah, I guess.
What was great about that moment is it's a huge kind of montage sequence. You know, Jeff kind of flits between Kathy and the laundromat, verbatim kind of like saying it, and then you cut to the actual real life moment. And I remember that night when we were shooting and like the whole cast was in there, you know, it was kind of kinetic. And I think, you know, I remember looking at it saying to you, I was like, I'm really nervous. Remember me saying, I was like, I feel like I just have to say this so it's like out of my body. So I think that was already kind of in the air. I feel like we kind of just went with it. We didn't kind of speak
I
too
was
much about
excited
it.
about this.
Yeah.
It's
Was
one of
this
the
the
few
best?
moments
Yeah.
that you get to see that
Yeah, you're so right.
spark in a way. And I love all those unsaid little moments and where you hold a moment, where you get past the point of where you would usually be talking.
Yeah.
And you just feel that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I also remember Tom. Tom was sitting
yeah.
over on the left and he goes, turn the chair around.
Yeah.
And so I turned the chair around and we did this whole thing. So that was his idea.
I love that. I love it. I love a meet cute.
Yeah. Well, because especially now, I feel like they so rarely happen, right? Everything's through phones and everything. So I feel like now when we see it on screen, we're like, oh, imagine if that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
just going up to each other and actually speaking.
Yeah. It depends on the set. Usually I'll have a few days where it's a day that doesn't have a ton of heavy lifting, and then I have a camera with me and I take some pictures. The day that I took pictures a lot on this set was the day of the big brawl, big fight, because I knew it was just a physical day for me for the most part. I love that experience of documenting on set. I took my Leica onto Dune, and so I have some pictures of that as well. Have you ever seen Jeff Bridges' photography from sets? It's amazing. And he's done it for years, and it's so good.
I mean, that's what you want, you know? I think whenever people have approached me or shared with me how they've just enjoyed it and watched it with friends or family, or it's opened up a conversation, or it's changed their life in some way, however big or small that may be, it's just really lovely to know that it's being received in some kind of way.
Yeah, I know that I have that experience as an audience member watching films or watching TV shows that aren't even on the air anymore that I'm watching for the first time. And when it's something that I've been a part of, like I can't wrap my head around that somebody else might have the same experience.
You're too,
Too close to it or something. But when people come up and they say something nice about it, it really does feel so good. And it also connects to the feeling of nostalgia, which is like a time and a place with certain people that it doesn't exist anymore. But it was a very special time and place, and every job that I've ever been a part of, I have fond memories of. And it was a particular time and place in my life. And then I feel connected to whatever person has watched the show and it's affected them at this time and place in their life. And so that's really cool.